This presentation is called Dorm Dorhu Crystal Practice Revised October 2025. So this has some new sections and new points that were not in the previous version, and it makes it more integrated. What is new? What has been added if you've seen the previous ones? Why should you watch this one? Well, we're going to start with an overview, which is the main thing that's different, I believe, is there's more pieces of the puzzle, and now we know better how the different pieces fit together. So what are those different pieces? First of all, and we've got 8 different pieces, just like an overall flow. So this is an overview. Yoga Nidra, which is a specific practice, produces gamma state, a state of unconditional love, so that the heart opens and becomes receptive. Okay, so what's next? So once the heart opens and becomes receptive, the heart's able to receive the stream of phyll, which can be called chi or prana, from the crystal. And this further enlivens and activates the heart. So what will we see happens next once the heart is enlivened and activated? Well, we've already done some prior breathing exercises. One of them is called Nadi Shodhana Pranayam, alternate nostril breathing. Another one is called Kapalbhati Pranayam, which is sometimes translated as shining skull breathing or shining forehead breathing or breath of fire. So once those breathing practices are done, they open the channels for diaphragmatic and pulse breathing. So why do we need diaphragmatic and pulse breathing? Natural pulse breathing during this practice propels the phyll from the heart. So we've enlivened the heart, we've sent phyll into the heart. Now there'll be a natural pulse breathing that propels the phyll from the heart along the toroidal pattern up and around the body. So what? So what does this toroidal pattern do? It ends up reconnecting DNA's broken hydrogen bonds. And once those hydrogen bonds are then reconnected, then the DNA strands connect to the morphinogenic field of the universe. And the energy of the body, or the energy field of the body, then becomes connected to the energy field of the universe. The DNA transmutes, converts into a stable state of auto-regeneration, and the body and mind rise to their full potential. Lifespan, it increases towards several hundred years. Health becomes better, mind becomes better, everything becomes better. We resume our full potential. So that's an overview of all the stages. Now we're going to start going through in more detail through the stages. Starting with, what are Dorm Dorhu and this crystal practice? Dorm Dorhu refers to a group of extraterrestrial yoga type practices for centering and calming mind and body. So maybe you didn't know that extraterrestrials also have their yoga type practice. So this is a Pleiadian practice. This presentation describes a specific Dorm Dorhu practice using crystals that Pleiadian scientist Jen Han Eredyon explained to ET contactees Elena Denon and Dan Willa. So we'll be going through that in detail. This video is a short segment of a longer video, about 35 minutes long. And I recommend, if you haven't, to watch that full video, and the link to that 35-minute video, which will give you the context for the short clip. The link to that will be in the description below this video. So are there deeper mechanics that we can understand of the Dorm Dorhu practice, the Dorm Dorhu crystal practice? This Dorm Dorhu crystal practice produces a soft flow of phyll into the heart. This appears to enliven the heart in a balanced, natural way, so that one sinks deeper and deeper into higher and higher frequencies of pure love. All one needs to do is surrender to pure love and let go. There is no need to understand or perceive the mechanics of the process. Surrender, trust, and enjoy. It is all naturally happening, so there's nothing we need to do. If you wish to understand the underlying mechanics as I understand them, they are illustrated in the next slide. Yoga Nidra cycle within Dorm Dorhu, and we'll understand that in a moment. Spiraling deeper and deeper into pure love. At some point, you may become aware of these stages. In the meantime, do not strain, just be easy, relax, and surrender to what is happening. So the first stage, as we saw before with Yoga Nidra, is to feel unconditional love for everyone and everything. So we just relax and it's naturally there. And within that love, at step 2, be aware of the body, and awareness of the body grounds us to the earth. Then at step 3, within that love, let our body awareness expand to the universe. So we're now expanded to the universe. So that's the first 3 steps. The 4th step is a wholeness of the first 3 steps. So from that pure love at step 1, unconditional love, to being aware of our body, and then being aware of our expanded body, then back to pure love, because it's all within pure love. There's a natural reverberating within that ocean of pure love, and that's step 4. Then the last step, step 5, is witnessing our separation from the process. What does that mean? Well, we've created a wave of love, so we're now sending that wave of love, that ocean of love, to someone special, whoever we like, our family, our star family, Mother Gaia, whatever, the earth, the universe, whatever we like. We've got that ocean of love, so we just send it, and that's the end of the process. These same mechanics seem to occur at nighttime if Yoga Nidra is done at bed at night without crystals. We won't be holding or pointing crystals. In bed, we can put our right palm, if it's comfortable, over our heart, and don't try to discern the mechanics. We're lying down, we'll fall asleep, and that's great. Just relax and surrender. Do not resist as you feel drowsy and naturally fall asleep. We can just be aware of the pure love and whatever comes from there. So here are the additional points from Jen on harvesting, which is the same thing as capturing phyll. So phyll comes in from that crystal, and the heart captures it once the heart has been opened with pure love, and then the pulse breath sends that phyll up the central column or the central channel of the body and back down in all directions. So this is what we're going to see. So here's some points that Jen Han said. As the dynamics of the electromagnetic current already flows upward through our energy centers, it will drive the phyll. So here we see in this diagram the electromagnetic field of the body going up through the center and down in this outer like donut. So this is the toroidal shape. It's like a donut. So once the phyll is captured in the heart, it can follow that same pattern, that toroidal pattern. When the phyll is harvested by the heart vortex, it'll be caught by the electrodynamics flowing upward, and it will adopt the dynamics of your natural electromagnetic toroid field. So the phyll will also follow that same pattern. And we become a generator radiating love or phyll to the universe, because we're just radiating that out there. And don't worry, you can't overdo it and harm yourself. There's any excess frill that's not taken up by the universe will just be naturally dissipated in the ether. And I have the initials ME standing for Marshy effect, which is a scientifically measured phenomena of how groups of people meditating send a beneficial positive effect out in the environment. And these mechanics of frill could explain the Marshy effect potentially. So now we've got some more points from Jen Han on pulse breath, harvesting frill, and creating an upward flow. So this is it's really the same thing. When the electromagnetic current flowing upward meets the central vortex of the heart vortex activates and frill enters. So the heart is activated by this frill going inward. It activates the heart. Also, our yoga nidra practice enlivens the heart with love, so it's all ready. And then the frill goes up and around in this pattern. Now here's the point about breath. Short, sharp pulsations directed into the heart vortex harvest the frill, meaning catches it and propels it up around the body, and the sternum compresses slightly at each pulse. And the point I wanted to make here, this is my note. I find that the soft pulse breathing occurs naturally once one is settled down to a subtle gamma state. You do not need to consciously pulse your breath. Just be natural as you sink down into a settled transcendental gamma state. Over time, the soft pulse breaths will naturally occur. So just relax. Don't feel that you have to like consciously strain to pulse your breath, because when you're experiencing that quiet transcendental state, you don't really want to come out and strain to do anything. And you don't need to. The pulse breath will just naturally result. You'll be sitting in that quiet state, and every so often there'll just be a pulse, and that will propel the frill from the crystal into your heart, and from your heart up and around the body. So just relax. The main thing you need to do is perform the breathing exercises before beginning Dorm Dorhu. So those are the two breathing exercises, Nadi Shodhana Pranayam and Kapalbhati Pranayam. Do them beforehand, and our body will be at a good state. Have the pattern set to do the pulse breath naturally. Reconnecting the DNA's broken hydrogen bond. So this is other fascinating point from Jen Han that Dan Willis explained on his website. Once the frill has been harvested, the heart, and is flowing upward as a toroid, up and around the body. And we do this regularly, every day, or every few days, hopefully every day. This will start reconnecting the hydrogen bonds in the DNA of our body. Then once the broken hydrogen bonds are reconnected, this unlocks the blocks that keep the strands disconnected from the morphogenetic field of the universe. So the field of the body, the field of the DNA, becomes connected with the cosmic field of the universe, the morphogenetic field of the universe. And as a result, the DNA is transmuted into a stable state of auto-regeneration. So what are the benefits of the DNA going into this state? Once the DNA strands in the body's energy fields are back connected with the morphogenetic field of the universe, and the DNA is transmuted into a stable state of auto-regeneration, then the full potential of the individual begins to blossom. Initially, health improves, deterioration of mind and body begins to be reversed, lifespan begins extending towards its normal length, of many hundred years. And over time, as consciousness, maturity, and true spirituality ripen and the full range of technologies are accessed, the human race will become interstellar, intergalactic, interdimensional, and ultimately transtemporal.